Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Marcus Speaks. What's up, everybody? What's going on? This is your host, Marcus. This is Marcus Speaks Live, the very podcast that gives you trending topics and other random stuff. Oh, wrong one. If you could, like this video, share this video to your respected social medias, and subscribe if you are new here. Hit that bell icon to all so you can get all of my notifications once I go live, and all of my pre-recorded videos as well. Please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do it anywhere. I forgot where it's at. I think it's somewhere down there. So please subscribe. Also, hit the link. Go to my description box. Hit the link to my Rumble channel. My Rumble channel I've had for probably a good 3 months now. I would like you guys to go over and subscribe because I would like to start simulcasting over there, but I can't do it yet until I get 25 subscribers. Once I get 25 subscribers, I can start streaming live over there, which, if things get spicy over here, and in this space, we can go over to we can go to Rumble and continue the conversation. So, with that being said, I had to do something with that. Sorry. Please go and subscribe to my Rumble channel. If you ever have been here before, if not, every Friday I do a stream called Marcus Speaks Play, where I play all of my favorite games and a certain select few of new releases. Also, Saturdays I do this here game stream. Both streams come on each day at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So do me a favor, come and check me out when I'm live, because you won't be disappointed. If you want to come up here and come talk to me, you can. You can do it one of two ways, right? One of two ways. Those ways are, if you hit the link that's in the private chat right now, you can come up here and talk to me directly, all right? But there's 3 rules when it comes to hitting the link. Those 3 rules are: you must be on camera at all times. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it, all right? There are no ifs, ands, buts about it. But if you don't want to be on camera, then it's fine. You still have to be on camera back here on the backstage. There isn't a question back here in the private chat, but there will be in just a minute. That I would like for you to answer before I see your square. It's just a quick question to allow me to know if, or not if, what do you want to do as far as being on the show. If you don't want to be on camera, if you want to be on camera, whatever, it'll allow me to know so I can accommodate you better. So, with that being said, it is back here right now. With that being said, let's hit the private chat up before coming up here. Or should I say, answer the question first before I bring you up here. I said that wrong, so that's my bad. Alright. Also, please silence all background noise if you can. It will help me out a great deal, so please do that for me. Or you can call in the show's call-in number, which is 302-283-9791. If you're out of state, it's 1-302-283-9791. All right. And lastly, if you could, please like this video, subscribe if you are new here, hit that bell icon to all, and share this very video right now. So, with that being said, welcome to the show. If anyone's just now getting here, um, I just want to start out by saying before we get into today's show, which is a great show, is if you've never been here before, if you've never been here before, I like to play videos before when I do my show. All right, it allows me to teach you guys or show you guys what I'm saying, and it gives it a much broader aspect of what I'm saying. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna tell you guys about fair use. If you don't know what fair use is, well, here it goes. Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning: federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. All right, that is fair use. Now, if you guys have seen the thumbnail, then you already know what today's show is about. But for anybody who doesn't know, let's go over a brief overview of what fair use is. I mean, not fair use, I'm sorry. Of what today's main topic is about. So, tonight's overview is what is the Restrict Act and what does it impose? Now, if you guys don't know what this whole Restrict Act thing is, it's something that's been going on in Congress for quite some time now, and they have been, um, yeah, I was on the right one. So, the Restrict Act is basically America wanting to restrict TikTok, or do they? Now, the Restrict Act is an acronym. Restrict is an acronym in Restrict Act. It means restricting the emergence of security threats that risk information and communications technology. So that's what this whole Restrict Act thing is. And I forgot to bring one more thing up. So give me a second. All right, so what's about to happen? My this whole feedback is about to crash because I gotta do something real fast. So yeah, it's about to crash right about now. All right, never mind. We good. I'm sorry. So let's see if this works. It doesn't work. Um, preview documents. Okay, yeah, I got that. So it's not all right. All right, there we go. I just have to bring it down to size. So as I do this, just give me a second because this ties into this ties into the show because this is basically going to show us exactly what the Restrict Act is. All right, so boom, that. I don't want it this big. Jesus. All right, so all right, so you guys probably won't be able to see it on screen, but I gave you guys a little caveat. If you go in the description box right now, if you go to, let me check for it right now, so I actually know where it's at. It is when you go past through the description, the the hashtags of the show, the description of the show, the links to where you can find me, the fair use disclaimer, the regular disclaimer. If you go to the articles, you will see with the Vice article that I will be presenting you guys today with. It is right after the Vice article. You'll see HTTP. What's that, semicolon? I think that's what that is, or whatever. But you see HTTPS. Uh, I guess it's semicolon / / and then it gives you the website. All right. So if you want to follow along with me with what I'm talking about, you can find it right there in that. You can find it right there in the description box. So, all right. So the R.E.S.T.R.I.C.T Act. So this is something that Congress has been speaking to a certain gentleman that is the CEO of TikTok. If you guys don't know what TikTok is, so TikTok used to be Musically. Musically was an app that kids use where they, I guess, would do uh, videos of popular songs, and it's basically the same thing what TikTok is now, but it was more based on music. So Musically got bought out by TikTok's parent company, ByteDance. Then they all merged, and then TikTok came to be. So when TikTok came about, I think it was during the pandemic, or maybe a year beforehand. It was gaining a lot of traction. With that traction, it became very popular. So popular to where what, like, half of America has it right now? If not, like, yeah, it's like half of the United States has TikTok downloaded in or on their phone. I don't have it. I downloaded it, and then I didn't see a reason for me to have it, and then I deleted it. Because some people say that TikTok is for kids, and I saw, yes, it was. It's for kids. So I got the hell away from it. Plus I gave you guys an article not too long ago. I think it was sometime this year, where I spoke about how TikTok isn't really doing their due diligence when it comes to certain um, aspects of their app, to where, like, you know strange people can do, like, what's it called, TikTok battles, where, like, or duets or whatever, where you can do a dance with somebody. Well, it was grown men uh, seeking out little girls doing duets with them, and then messaging them and DMing them and all kinds of other weird shit that they were doing. So Congress brought the CEO of TikTok to Congress to talk about what TikTok is. So if you guys don't know what TikTok is, well, you guys know what TikTok is. But the R.E.S.T.R.I.C.T Act basically is a 55-page act where they basically go through some things with it, and let's see, it's a whole bunch of things on this that I want to go through. But it's 55 pages, so we probably won't dwell as long on this. But yeah, man, like, this whole thing, this whole act is like they want to do a whole bunch of things when it comes to this act, because it's not just about TikTok. There's certain other aspects that they want to do with this that it seems nefarious. So, um, excuse me. So, what I'm about to do right now, I'm going to play the video that I have for you guys today about what is the R.E.S.T.R.I.C.T Act. Here we go.
Proposed piece of legislation could change the way you use social media.
Although the bill aims to protect the country against national security risks, critics are concerned it could lead to government overreach. News 4's Marley Tuskus is here with the details. Marley?
Don and Kelsey, the restricting the emergence of security threats that risk information and communications technology, better known as the R.E.S.T.R.I.C.T Act, is a bipartisan bill which lawmakers say will protect us from foreign adversaries. But many are concerned it could actually impact free speech.
The world has changed. We didn't have the internet, and we didn't have all this technology, that we have now. So we do have to have some kind of control over it to make sure that we are protecting ourselves.
As technology evolves, Congress is trying to make sure our laws do as well. The R.E.S.T.R.I.C.T Act would give the Department of Commerce the power to regulate technology created by 6 countries deemed to be foreign adversaries, including China, Russia, and North Korea.
Maybe your average American is used to data being collected on them, and they're, again, desensitized and don't really care about it. But in totality, all of that data, when it's in the hands of perhaps the Chinese government, which is our number one threat, it's our number one foreign adversary in terms of spying against us, it could be dangerous and risky.
Despite not citing TikTok by name, many are calling this the TikTok ban bill because lawmakers continue to raise concerns over the data the Chinese-owned app collects. Lawmakers who drafted this bill say it gives the Secretary of Commerce the tools to mitigate and divest up to and including banning technology that would harm the U.S., however, does not explicitly say how a ban would take effect or be enforced. Critics are concerned this gives too much power to the executive branch.
I think every nation or society deals with this. At what point do you surrender or do you forfeit your rights to personal privacy in betterment of what society needs and what the overall greater needs are for the country?
Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is among the sponsors of this bill. She says the R.E.S.T.R.I.C.T Act will empower the Secretary of Commerce to, quote, carefully evaluate these products and ensure that they do not endanger our critical infrastructure or undermine our democratic processes. In the studio, Marley Tuskus.
All right. So, that is what's going on. But there's more to that. This is what I have for you guys today. So, today's article, before I get into that, all articles and videos are accredited in the description box below. I do not own any of the content that I am presenting to you guys today. I just want to let everyone know, as well as if I get flagged, I've already said this. Plus, I played the fair use in the beginning of the show, so that protects me. Now, I got this article from Vice, and they named it, which I shortened it. But the full article title is in the description box. So today's article is the R.E.S.T.R.I.C.T Act could ban much more than just TikTok. So the R.E.S.T.R.I.C.T Act, a proposed piece of legislation that provides one way the government might ban TikTok, contains insanely broad language and could lead to other apps or communication services with connections to foreign countries being banned in the US. Multiple digital rights experts told Motherboard, the bill could have implications not just for social networks, but potentially security tools such as virtual private networks, better known as VPNs, that customers use to encrypt and route their traffic, one said. Now, let's stop there, because I don't know if they have it, if they have this in the article. So I will say this: and I'll show it now. This is technically what a VPN does. So from your home computer or cell phone, you can have a VPN on. If you have an iPhone, if you go to General, you should see a VPN tab either in the General or it'll show right when you hit the settings app. I'm not too sure how you Android users use VPNs on your devices, but this is basically what a VPN looks like. So from your home computer or phone, you then route traffic over to, well, let's do without the middle part, right? So usually on your home computer, you're jacked in from your internet tower or modem, all right? And then that internet traffic either gets saved to the cloud if you have one, or if wherever website you're going to has one. All of your information, if you don't have some sort of encryption on your computer, gets saved either to some sort of server or cloud service that they buy. What a VPN does, it helps siphon that traffic into it to where none of your information goes out, but all of the miscellaneous nonsense stuff that you have in your that you're using to be on the internet with, or app, or wherever you might be, goes out, and that's all that they collect is that information. So with a VPN, it helps the government, hackers, and other corporate entities not steal data from you. All right. There's all kinds of services you can get. Was it Surfshark? That's the only one that I know of is Surfshark. There's a lot of other ones out there. I use one myself. I'm not going to display what the name is, but the only one I know of as of this broadcast is Surfshark. Now, so that's that with the VPN stuff. And my hold on. This is on the fritz today. All right. I guess it's gonna do that a few times a day, but it's fine. Excuse me. So with having a VPN, if this act goes through, which is very favorable right now to most lawmakers in Congress, if you own a VPN and this goes through and you're on either TikTok or whatever app or website that they deem to be a threat to American national security, you could spend up to 20 years in jail and or pay a $250,000 to $1 million fine. You heard me right. You can spend up to 20 years in jail, or you'll pay a $250,000 up to a $1 million fine, which is wild. But let's see what this article has in store for us. So, although the bill intends to target apps or services that threaten national security, these critics worry it may have much wider implications for the First Amendment, or let's just say that they want to take away our First Amendment rights. But that's neither here nor there, or is it? Now, the Restrict Act is a concerning distraction with insanely broad language that raises serious human and civil rights concerns. Let's see. Will Mary Escato, I guess that's how you say this person's name, U.S. policy analyst for digital rights organization Access Now told Motherboard in an emailed statement, Rena Pfefferkorn, I guess that's how you say her name, a research scholar at the Stanford Internet Observatory told Motherboard in an email, this bill certainly is troubling in that it would grant a great amount of power to the executive branch, the president, basically. That should be unsettling in any context. Recent examples around the world, from Israel to China, are showing us the risks that arise from upsetting checks and balances to favor executive power. So, in other words, what they're saying here is that they want to take away all of our First Amendment rights, all of our Fourth Amendment right, which is unwanted searches and seizures, and our Amendment 5 right, which is the right to not incriminate ourselves. So that's basically what they want to do. They want to take away all that shit right there, for the simple fact that if you guys have been under a rock, you would know that TikTok, if you have the app open in your phone, let's just say, you was on it earlier today, but you decided to get at it, but you didn't close it all the way down. You just had it open, right? But downloading it is just as bad, for the simple fact that that TikTok tracks your keystrokes. But let's see, TikTok background. How about I ask this? Now, let's see. All right, now let's see if this is it. It says 7 reasons. This is written by Muds. I never heard of these people. So it says 7 reasons TikTok is bad for everyone. All right. Now this is probably just them, being crazy. But let's see if okay, TikTok's data collection is suspect at best. So let's see if it tells me any of the stuff that I've been wanting to know. So it also requests okay, so let's do this. On its privacy policy, TikTok says it collects the information you provide in the context of composing, sending, or receiving messages. Yup. TikTok can actively watch what you write in messages to friends, even if you never hit the send button. It also requests access to your phone's model, screen resolution, current OS, phone number, email address, location, keystroke patterns, and even contact lists. None of that seems important if you just want to watch 15-second clips. All right. So that's what it does behind the scenes when you're not using it. Now I don't know if you guys give a damn about that, because that's very troubling. If you have this app on your phone and it does all of that behind the scenes, like it's crazy. Like how's it just if you just have it on your phone that it's looking at your messages, ones that you've sent and received, and ones that you haven't even sent yet that's just sitting there that they can read. And it also uh, accesses your phone's model, resolution, OS, phone number, your email address, your very location, and your keystroke patterns. That means whatever you're typing on your phone, they know exactly how you know how you're typing, your typing habits, how often you type, how often do you know it tracks all of it, and then even your contact list, your phone numbers basically, or email addresses. So it's like for y'all to have this app, it's like it behooves me, I should say. It behooves me for the simple fact that it's like you guys are allowing all of this access to this app. You guys are, because as I told you, I don't have TikTok on my phone. So let's continue. Depending on where the hell I was now. Okay, so it does implicate those free speech rights for Congress to give the president the power to take appropriate action up to and including banning against a particular ICTS in the name of national security or Americans' security and safety, which is wild. So they're restricting the emergence of security threats that risk information and communications technology, which is RESTRICT. RESTRICT Act is led by Senator Mark Warren, a Democrat from Virginia, and John Thune, a Republican from South Dakota. Um, the pair introduced the bill earlier this month, which is deliberately not limited to just TikTok. Under the RESTRICT Act, the Department of Commerce would identify information and communications technology products that a foreign adversary has any interest in, or where am I at? Pose an unacceptable risk to national security. The announcement reads, the bill only applies to technology linked to a foreign adversary. Those countries include China, as well as Hong Kong, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, and Venezuela. The bill's language includes vague terms such as desktop applications, mobile applications, gaming applications, payment applications, which we will get into later, all right? And web-based applications. What the fuck does that mean? You're basically saying this is what I'm seeing from this. This is what it's basically saying. Every fucking thing. Because on consoles now you basically have apps. That's basically what it is. When you have, like, if you go to the store and you buy a hard copy disc of whatever game you're about to play, it goes through a download session to where it downloads the game, which shows up as a square on your console now, which is basically an app if you look at it like that. Also, gaming application, which also you can find on your phone. What else? Mobile applications. That could mean any damn thing. Also, desktop applications. That means any application that you download onto your home computer. And what else are they asking for? Payment applications such as Cash App, uh, Venmo, what else? I forgot the other ones, but it's one I'm gonna bring up later. That I've talked about before, but I'm gonna bring it up later. So, it also targets. Hold on, where am I? It also targets um applicable software that has more than 1 million users in the US. The Restrict Act could lead to apps and other ICT services with connections to certain foreign countries being banned in the United States, meaning YouTube, Google. Although YouTube was built here, but it has a multinational appeal. So plus the Google CEO is I believe he's from India, I want to say. So, you do your own research on that. But let's see. Any bill that would allow the U.S. government to ban an online service that facilitates Americans' speech raised serious First Amendment concerns. Caitlin Vogus, Deputy Director of the Center of Democracy and Technology's Free Expression Project, told Motherboard in an emailed statement. In addition, while bills like the Restrict Act may be motivated by legitimate privacy concerns, banning ICT services with connections to foreign countries would not necessarily help protect Americans' privacy. Because we all know that the NSA fucks with us already, so go figure. Those countries may still obtain data through other means, like by purchasing it from private data brokers. Escoto from Access Now added, as written, the broad language in the Restrict Act could criminalize the use of a VPN, significantly impacting access to security tools and other applications that vulnerable people rely on for privacy and security. Many individuals and organizations, including journalists, activists, and human rights defenders, use VPNs. I was about to say UPN. VPNs to protect their online activities from surveillance and censorship. The Restrict Act would expose these groups to monitoring and repression, which could have a chilling effect on free speech and expression, as Koto says. Now, many VPN companies engage in misleading marketing practices which exonerate their importance and alleged security benefits. Used correctly and with a provider that does not introduce its issues such as logging users' traffic, VPNs can be a useful tool for digital security. Because it's always nice to have it. Like, never thought that I would need it, but then I second guessed it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need one. So I just went off and bought one. That I pay on monthly, and I just call it a day. and that's that. Now, Rachel Cohen, communications director for Senator Warner, responded by telling Motherboard in an email this legislation is aimed squarely at companies like Casper Sky, Huawei, and TikTok that create systematic risks to the United States national security, not at individual users, she said. The threshold for criminal penalty in this bill is incredibly high, too high to even be concerned with the actions of someone, an individual user of TikTok or a VPN. With with the bill's introduction, Warner and Thune instead pointed to other foreign-linked companies that may pose their own security and privacy issues. Before TikTok, however, it was Huawei and ZTE, which threaten our nation's telecommunications network. Now let's go over that real fast because I think this was like between like 2017 up to maybe around the pandemic or so. So it's this phone company that's from China called Huawei. Huawei has these incredible phones that, it's some people were saying it was next they were that they're greater than using Apple iPhones. That's how great these phones are. So, I believe um I believe I was watching another YouTuber by the name of, was it Marcus Brownlee? He did a review of the phone, and the phone itself, like how it interacts with the user, and the smoothness of it and all that. Like, I was second guessing. This is before I knew that they couldn't operate here in this country. I was really thinking about switching over to a Huawei phone because of what I saw. I'm a big technology guy. Like, I love technology. I like looking at it, like, messing with technology. So when I saw it, I was like, damn, I might have to be out of the Apple loop or ecosystem if I get this phone, because this phone looks amazing. Now, although you can kind of make it to where I think you can put it in the guise of it's like part of like the Android family, but not really. But it's fully customizable. You can do whatever you want on it. It's like having like a mini computer in your pocket, basically. Although our phones now are like mini computers, but I'm saying this phone was very powerful. Like, it was a very powerful, just from what I was looking at. So, the United States had an issue with it for the simple fact that it was a Chinese-based company with a Chinese-based manufacturer. So therefore, us as Americans couldn't get it because nowhere, I'm guessing the way that they looked at it, the government. Well, since none of it's based here in America, there's no way that we can have them. So America pulled the plug. The government pulled the plug and was like, nah, these phones cannot come into this country because we don't know what nefarious things that this phone does. I am very gassy and very hiccupy today. I am very sorry for that today, guys. Now, that was my whole thing on Huawei. So getting back into the article. And before that, it was Russia's Kaspersky Lab, which threatened the security of government and corporate devices, Warner said in a statement at the time. We need a comprehensive risk-based approach that proactively tackles sources of potentially dangerous technology before they gain a foothold in America. So we are playing whack-a-mole and scrambling to catch up once they're already up. I have no idea what this word is. This is my very first time seeing this word. What is this word? Ubiquitous. Okay, I've heard the word. I've never seen it spelled before. So ubiquitous. Senators Tammy Baldwin from Wisconsin, Deb Fisher from Nebraska, Joe Manchin from West Virginia, Jerry Morin from Kansas, Michael Bennett from Colorado, Dan Sullivan from Arkansas, Kirsten Gillibrand from New York, Susan Collins from Maine, Martin Heinrich from what state is NM? I have no clue. Anyway, and Mitt Romney from Utah are co-sponsors of the proposed legislation. Both Vogus and Escoto pointed to another potential solution: the U.S. passing a more fundamental privacy law. If Congress is serious about addressing risks to America's privacy, it could accomplish far more by focusing its efforts on passing comprehensive privacy legislation like the American Data Privacy and Protection Act, Vogus said. And that's going to bother me of what state is NM. So I'm going to look it up. New Mexico. Okay, New Mexico. So I did not know that. I've never seen it like that. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So how about we get into the act itself? So let me do a little finagling here. All right. So this is the legislation. I just need to remember what page I'm on. So what's that? Page 10? Yeah, page 10. All right. So, this is basically just going over. If you guys have seen me go over like legal documentation before, you know that I do this. I show you guys what's going on with in legal stuff. Now, scrolling down to page 10. So here we go. So, okay, what can you guys see? Okay, so I got to do it from here. Okay. So, addressing information and communication technology products and service that pose undue and unacceptable risks. So, in general, the security in consultation with the relevant executive department and agency heads is authorized to and shall take action to identify, deter, disrupt, to prevent, prohibit, investigate, or otherwise mitigate, including by negotiation, entering into or imposing and enforcing any mitigation measure to address any risks arising from any covered transaction by any person or with respect to any property subject to the jurisdiction of the United States that the secretary determines. Poses an undue and acceptable risk, sabotage, or subversion of the design, integrity, manufacturing, production, distribution, installation, operating, or maintenance of information communication technology. Communication technology products and services in the United States. Catastrophic effects on the security or resilience of the critical infrastructure or digital economy of the United States. Interfering in or altering the result or reported result of the federal election. Uh, as determined in coordination with the Attorney General, the Director of National Intelligence, the Secretary of Treasury, and the Federal Election Commission. Or uh, coercive or criminal activities by a foreign adversary that are designed to undermine democratic processes and institutions or steer policy and regulatory decisions in favor of the strategic objectives of a foreign adversary to the detriment of the national security of the United States as determined in coordination with Attorney General and all those other good folks. So, this is what some of the, how it all begins. Like everything, like in the in this article. Now, let's get into some juicy shit on here. All right, so this part right here, I don't know where. All right, so I'll go slow. So right here. So the United States operations, assets, or property of the entity in which the covered holding is held, or of any products or services owned, controlled, designed, developed, manufactured, or supplied by the entity are used in the United States. Any tangible or intangible assets, wherever located, are used to support or enable use of the product of or software of the entity in the United States. And any data obtained or derived from use of the product or software of the entity in the United States. All right. So, what's that? Non-delegible authority. The authority to compel divestment of a covered holding under paragraph 1 may only be exercised by the president and many may not be delegated to any other individual except as described in paragraph 4. So, announcement: if the president determines that actions that action is required pursuant to paragraph 1. The president shall announce the decision not later than 30 days after the date on which the secretary refers the covered holding to the president pursuant to subsection A. Enforcement of divestment. The president may direct a attorney general to seek appropriate relief, including divestment relief in the District Court of the United States in order to implement and enforce this subsection. So, the president, or any president, not just either Biden or Trump or whoever may be president, this gives power to any president if they see fit to basically say, I want this, and that taken down. So I want Microsoft services, I want Amazon, I want what's another place that everybody likes going to? Any Microsoft service, Apple or Amazon, I want all of that shut down right now. And just with a snap of a finger, he'll be able to do it. So if you go to your local Apple store, try and buy a phone, you're trying to, do something or either, try and do something that's favorable to yourself as far as going to Amazon.com. And you type in the website on your computer or go to the app on your phone, and it says that what's that usual thing where a website isn't available anywhere? 404 error or whatever. It probably might say that. So saying that is scary as fuck. This is why. It grants anyone in the executive branch, we all know what the executive branch is. If you was in high school, well, hell, if you was in middle school, you should know what the executive branch is of government. It is the president, the top guy. All right. So, however the president sees fit with determining what happens with any sort of communication. And it named off those three things earlier. Let's reread them again. Let's see. Desktop applications, payment applications, web-based applications, gaming applications, whatever the president feels as though that he wants to shut down that day, then that happens. He can go shut Facebook down today. And Facebook has no other choice. Under law, Facebook gets shut down. This is I'm about to talk like a preacher right now. This is the devil right here. Like, no bullshit. This is the devil. This takes away so much of our First Amendment rights. It's not even fucking funny. Like, it's not funny. Like, this allows them to do whatever the fuck that they want to do. Now remember 2030, right? The whole Great Reset thing. You own nothing, but you'll be happy. Same shit. Same shit here. So let's read the considerations, right? So considerations. Priority information and communications technology areas and carrying out section 3 and 4, the secretary shall prioritize evaluations of information and communications technology products or services used by a party to a covered transaction in a sector designated as critical infrastructure in Policy Directive 21. Uh, Gives a date, so I'm pretty sure that's when it was signed, relating to critical infrastructure security and resilience. So, moving along. Software, hardware, or any other product or service integral to telecommunication products and services, including wireless local area networks, mobile networks, satellite payloads, satellite operations and controls, cable access points, wireline access points, core networking systems, long, short, and backhaul networks, edge computer platforms, any software, hardware, or any other product or service integral to data hosting or computing service that uses, processes, or retains or is expected to use, process, or retain sensitive personal data with respect to greater than 1 million persons in the United States at any point during the year, period, preceding the date on which the covered transaction. Okay, y'all guys can't see that. So I didn't do that. So where was I? Proceeding the date on which the covered transaction is referred to secretary for review, or the secretary in, initiates review of the covered transaction, including internet hosting services such as, you know, well, over here on the East Coast we have I guess we have what was it, Warner Television, um, Xfinity, Comcast. I think that's it. Oh, AT&T television services or DirecTV. What else? I forgot. I forgot the other one. I think Verizon has a television service. So anyway, internet hosting services, cloud-based or distributed computing and data storage (VPNs), machine learning, predictive analytics, and data science products and services, including those involving the provision of service to assist a party uh, utilize, manage, or maintain open source software. So, does that mean like AI? Like the whole new AI thing that's happening right now? Does that mean AI? Managed services and content delivery services. Internet or network enabled sensors, webcams, endpoint surveillance, or monitoring devices, modems, and home networking devices if greater than 1 million units have been sold to persons in the United States at any point during the year, period, preceding the date on which the covered transaction is referred to the secretary for review, or secretary initiates review of the covered transaction. Meaning that they can spy on us at any given fucking time. That's crazy, man. That is fucking crazy. Now, also unmanned vehicles, including drones and other aerial systems, what does that say? Autonomous or semi-autonomous vehicles, such as your Tesla, or I think Tesla only has self-driving right now. So Tesla will probably be a semi-autonomous vehicle. Well, no, they will be fully autonomous, and if you have like what is it like if you can have it to where your car can basically drive itself or whatever, like just off of a flick of a button. I forgot what it's called in my car, but I know I can, with keeping my eyes on the road still, because it doesn't work like a Tesla. I can flick a switch, hit a button, and it'll keep me on that rate of speed or whatever. If I'm driving straight, if I'm driving uphill, it slows me down. If I'm driving downhill, it gains speed. It doesn't like break for itself. So, that's crazy though. That's crazy that they will be surveilling drones, fully or semi autonomous vehicles. Like, that's wild, yo, that they can just with a flick of a button be like, I want to look into this right now, and then that happens. Like, that's crazy. Now, software designed or used primarily for connecting with and communicating via the internet that is in use by greater than 1 million persons in the United States. That means any damn thing. Just know by this language, it means any damn thing, if not everything. Now, going forward, onto page 19. Let's see. At any point during the year, let's see. Oh shit, I'm sorry. During the year period preceding the date on which the covered transaction is referred. Okay, so that means including desktop application, as I said, mobile applications, as I said, payment applications, or web-based applications, or information and communication technology products and services, and integral to artificial intelligence and machine learning, quantum key distribution, quantum communication, quantum computing, post-quantum uh, cryptography, autonomous systems, advanced robotics, biotechnology, synthetic biology. What does that say? Computational biology and e-commerce technology and services, including any electronic techniques for accomplishing business transactions, online retail, internet enabled logistics, and internet enabled payment technology, and online marketplaces. People, we are talking about government control over everything, because we are in basically a digital based technology. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, yeah, we do have digital based technology, but just look at what we have around us: smartphones, smart computers. So I said smart computers, smartphones, smart TVs, computers, gaming consoles. Then let's go to I said e-commerce, so we're talking Amazon, Walmart. So we're talking the internet within a whole, and whatever hardware that the software sits in. We're just talking the whole internet, whatever software you use to get on the internet and whatever hardware you use to get to that software on the internet. That's what that means. In other words, people, if this goes through, which, as I said earlier, it's a lot of Congress people that want this to go through. A lot of people in Congress wants this very bill to go through, to make it to law. That means this is, drum roll, people, this is going to be basically the Patriot Act on steroids. Do you guys not know what the Patriot Act is? Well, if you remember 9/11, you know that there was some accords afterwards that they drew up. A book was produced to talk about what the Patriot Act is, basically stating that it was in America's best interest for us to give up most of our freedoms in order for America to protect us. Well, they had a 10-year grace period of that said Patriot Act to go to work its thing, do its thing, right? It got renamed back in 2000. I want to say 2013. It got renamed. I want to say it did in 2013. If not in 2012, it got redone. It was repurposed as the Freedom Act. It was basically the same thing as the Patriot Act. It might have cut some stuff out of it, maybe not, but they renamed the Patriot Act the Freedom Act. After the Freedom Act, which 10 years have passed since then, I don't know if they renamed it again or not. I'm not too sure. Or maybe this could be an add-on to it, to where they can use the Freedom Act as it is, but the Restrict Act. Now, I didn't read the rest of that. So, e-commerce technology services, including any electronic techniques for accomplishing business transactions, online retail, internet-enabled logistics, internet-enabled payment technology, and online marketplaces. People, if this gets signed, we're all fucked. I hope you guys know this. Considerations relating to undue and unacceptable risks in determining whether or covered transactions poses an undue or unacceptable risk under Section 3A or 4A. The Secretary shall, as the Secretary determines appropriate and in consultation with appropriate agency heads, consider where available any removal of exclusion order issued by the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Secretary of Defense, or the Director of National Intelligence, pursuant to recommendations of the Federal Acquisition Security Council, pursuant to Section 1323 of Title 41 United States Code. So B, any order or license revocation issued by the Federal Communications Commission with respect to a transacting party or any consent decree imposed by the Federal Trade Commission with respect to a transacting party, any relevant provision of the Defense Federal Acquisitions Regulation and the Federal Acquisitions Regulation and the respective supplements to those regulations, any actual or potential threats to the execution of a national critical function identified by the director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. The nature, the degree, and likelihood of consequences to the public and private sectors of the United States that would occur if uh, if vulnerabilities of the information and communications technology services supply chain where to services supply chain were to be exploited, and any other sources of information that the security determines appropriate. So let's take us back real fast. Do y'all remember last year, the very beginning of the year, when the whole Colonial Pipeline shutdown thing happened, right? And then they had to pay a crypto ransom. I believe the cryptocurrency ransom that the people were asking for was somewhere next to like $1 million or so, if not $8 million in crypto. So although the government paid it, they also probably thought of that while drawing this bill up. Hell, who knows how old this bill is? So, with that being said, they're basically allowing the rest of the country to see this in real time to basically show us that, look, we want to control every aspect of your life. Because you gotta remember, our phones rule our lives. Without our phones, we don't know phone numbers. We don't know where people live. We don't know how to get to places without it. Well, unless you grew up in the time that I grew up at, in a little earlier. Like, I know how to get to places without my phone. Like, it's no problem. But I'm pretty sure people who were born probably, let's say, probably after like 95 or so, probably don't know how to get to very many places by themselves. So let's move down to this designation of foreign adversaries, right? So let's go to page 22. So here we go, right there. So it says, in general, designation, the secretary may, in consultation with the director of national intelligence, designate any foreign government or regime as a foreign adversary if the secretary finds that the foreign government or regime is engaged in a long-term pattern of serious instances of conduct significantly is that reversed? What the hell is going on with my damn... Alright, that's weird. Where am I at? Long-term pattern of adverse to the national security of the United States or security and safety of United States persons, removal of designation. The secretary may, in consultation with the director of national intelligence, remove the designation of any foreign government or regime as a foreign adversary, including any foreign government or regime identified in Section 2.8 or 2/8. If the secretary finds that the foreign government or regime is no longer engaged in a long-term or serious instance of conduct significantly adverse to the national or economic security of the United States or security and safety of the United States persons in a manner that would warrant designation as a foreign adversary. So basically, in a nutshell, they're basically saying that, if they so basically if they catch a foreign government or regime trying to, do something on any sort of like what was one of the terms, economic security or national security, like basically stating that if they let's say that they write a post on Twitter, basically stating that they're going to, I guess, bomb some part of the United States, right? So it will be in the government's best interest to then shut that down, basically shut them down, and then also not allow us to see what they said. That's basically what that's saying right there. So it's just they want to shut us out up because I don't know who got smart up at the Capitol, but they now understand that the internet in a whole takes them down from their very jobs that they have. Like, they can't hide anything from us anymore because it's on the internet. They can't lie to us anymore. You know why? Because it's on the internet. They can't try to do the bait and switch anymore because we will see the real thing on the internet. Like, this is basically what this is for. Now, this could sound a little conspiratorial and all this, like some of y'all might be, sucking your teeth or rolling your eyes, but listen to me now. I'm only an alarm. This is is what I do. I'm only an alarm. I just sit here sometimes complain what's going on the internet or in the world or this country. I'm only an alarm because I haven't been wrong yet. As long as I've been doing either this show or just in life, telling people what is to come, I'm only an alarm. I'm Paul Revere, basically. The red coats are coming, goddammit, so make sure you get yourself ready. To finish this off, let's see. To finish this off, what page do I want to stop on? Okay, implementing authorities. That's a good one to end off at. Section 8. Okay, so the regulations is in carrying out the responsibilities under this act, the secretary may establish such rules, regulations, and procedures as the secretary considers appropriate. Classes of transactions in conducting review. What's that word? Promulgating regulations, implementing prohibitions or other mitigation measures of other or otherwise carrying out the responsibilities under this act, the security may take action with respect to both individual covered transactions and classes of covered transactions. Other authorities, in general, the secretary may issue guidance, including advisory options in establishing procedures to carry out this act. Okay, so let's get to the juicy stuff. Okay, enforcement probably be the last part that we talk about. Okay, so in general, the president shall rely on, including by delegation, the secretary and the heads of other federal agencies as appropriate to conduct investigations of violations of any authorized order, mitigation measure, regulation, or prohibition issued under this act. Actions by designees, in conducting investigations described in paragraph 1, designated officers or employees of federal agencies described that paragraph may, to the extent necessary or appropriate to enforce this act, exercise such authority as is conferred upon them by any other federal law, subject to policies and procedures approved by the Attorney General. Permitted activities. Officers and employees of agencies authorized to conduct investigations under subsection A may inspect, search, detain, seize, or impose temporary denial orders with respect to items in any form or conveyance on which it is believed that there are items that have been, are being, or are about to be imported into the United States in violation of this act or any other applicable federal law. Now, pay attention to that. Because they're talking about just shit being imported, such as required, inspect, and obtain books, records, and any other information from any person subject to the provisions of this act or other applicable federal law. So, if some shit's being imported over here, such as basically every goddamn thing, but they have a said problem with the said country that the import's coming from, they can deny that import and send it back. So y'all's next batch of iPhones that are coming out, let's say that this act was already signed, right? Those iPhones will be sent back for the simple fact that it goes against federal law. For those said iPhones that came from said place, i.e. India, which we don't even have a problem with right now, but you know, I'm pretty sure Biden would make a problem with them. He would basically state with his executive order is those phones were dangerous because they had some sort of, I don't know, some sort of information on there that would steal America's information or whatever. I don't know. Like, just some stupid shit he would say. But the NSA already does that, doesn't they? But enforcement of subpoenas in the case of all right, never seen that word before either. Contumacy. All right. In the case of contumacy by or refusal to obey a subpoena issued to any person under subsection B3, a district court of the United States, after notice to such person and a hearing, shall have jurisdiction to issue an order required. Okay. All right. This is strange. Like, the one on my OBS isn't acting funny, but the one actual in front of me is acting funny. So, all right. So what the fuck is going on? I don't have a clue. Hold on. I need to see exactly where I was. Enforcement. That was page 36. All right. So now it's acting right. So. Okay, I'm down here. I'm sorry. Okay, so shall have jurisdiction to issue an order requiring such person to appear and give testimony or to appear and produce books, records, and other writings, regardless of the format, that are the subject of the subpoena. Any failure to obey such order of the court may be punished by such court as a contempt thereof. Actions by the Attorney General. The Attorney General may bring an action in an appropriate district court of the United States for appropriate relief, including declaratory or injunctive or divestment relief against any person who violate this act or any violation order, direction, mitigation measure, prohibition, or other authorizations or directive issued under this act. In any such action, the limitations as described under Section 12 shall apply. So, under Section 12, so unlawful acts, and this will be where we stop after I find the hold on, let me find it now. Let's see. So let's read the first two sections. Let's read the first two sections, then we'll go down, then we'll cut it there. So unlawful acts in general, it shall be unlawful for a person to violate, attempt to violate, conspire to violate, or cause a violation of any regulation, order, directive, mitigation measure, prohibition, or other authorized or derivative issued under this act, including any of the unlawful acts described in paragraph 2. Suspect unlawful acts. The unlawful acts described in this paragraph are the following. No person may engage in any conduct prohibited by or contrary to or refrain from engaging in any conduct required by any regulation, order, direction, mitigation measure, prohibition, or other authorization or directive issued under this act. No person may cause or aid, abet, counsel, command, induce, procure, permit, or approve the doing of any act prohibited by or the omission of any act required by any regulation, order, directive, mitigation, prohibition, or authorization or derivative issue under this act. All right. No person may solicit or attempt to violation of any regulation, order, and then it says it again, issue under this act. No person can conspire or act in concert with one or more other person in any manner or for any purpose to bring about or do to any act that constitutes a violation of any regulation, order, direction, mitigation, and all that other good stuff. Let's keep going. No person may, whether directly or indirectly, through any person, make any false or misleading representation, statements, or certification, or falsify or conceal any material fact to the Department of Commerce or any official of any other executive branch or department or agency. In the course of an investigation or other subject to this act, in connection with the preparation, submission, issuance, use, or maintenance of any report field or required to be filed pursuant to this act. Let's keep going. No person may engage in transactions or take any other action with intent to evade the provisions of this act or any regulation, order, direction, blah, 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 blah. No person may fail to refuse to comply with any reporting or record keeping requirements of this act or any regulation. And that, and this, and that. So, let's get to the juicy shit. So, civil penalties. This is where we will end this at. The Secretary may impose the following civil penalties on the person for its violation by the person of this act or any regulation, order, directive, mitigation, prohibition, other authorizations issued under this act. A fine of a fine of not more than $250,000 or an amount that is twice the value of the transaction. That is the basis of the violation with respect to which the penalty is imposed, whichever is greater. Revocation of any mitigation measure or authorization issued under this act to the person. Criminal penalties. In general, a person who willfully commits, willfully attempts to commit or willfully conspires to commit or aid or abets its commission of a unlawful act described in subsection A shall, upon conviction, be fined not more than $1 million, or if a natural person may be in prison for not more than 20 years, or both. Now that shit right there, that makes my skin crawl. But that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing, and they don't give a fuck. Like, they really don't give a fuck right now. And it's crazy. It's crazy for the simple fact that we have like that we have to go through knowing this right now, because how's it that they can seek the authority to stop us from doing certain things online, but if it comes to their certain thing that they want us to do online, we're fine? Do you know who does that? Do you know what country does that? China. China does that. Who are they in with odds with right now? China. Or are they? This is a wild time right now, people. But like I said, I'm only an alarm. Call me Paul Revere. Because for the simple fact that this can happen and we can allow this to happen, funny thing I'm about to say. We all make fun of, or we talk and discuss when we talk about the people who stormed the Capitol during Juneteenth, or January 6th, as you guys know it. But this is the very reason why they did it. They saw something that wasn't right, that they felt as though that should be re-looked at or something, and then they did something about it. We also should be looking at that very same fact of why they did what they did, because this would be a good time to do the same. Now, I'm not inciting a riot at all. I don't want to be locked up for inciting a riot. I don't want to incite a riot, but I am saying this. If this bill goes through, you can kiss everything else goodbye. I'm telling you now, you can kiss everything else goodbye, because everything won't be in your hands anymore. You're giving up your power that you own as an American person. So, if you just thought that this was about TikTok, you're out of your fucking mind. They want to do this across the board. They don't just want to do this just because TikTok is stealing people's data. Look, there's a certain thing called when you get something such as a computer, you download an app, or so on and so forth. There is a part in that where you go through an agreement type thing. Everything has it. Every app. Sorry, my ears itching. Every app. Most video games, if not all video games, you all go through the agreements contracts when you just pass that by and just hit agree. You guys are accepting certain terms and conditions that you did not know about, such as, it probably says it right there in the fine print when TikTok states that they track your keystrokes, your location, your contact logs, your messages, all that shit. You probably didn't know because you didn't read it. That's why. I'm not blaming you, because I'm guilty of that as well. So Maybe y'all we should start looking next time we accept something. How about that? Now that concludes today's main topic about what is the Restrict Act. I was about to say the Respect Act. Be vigilant, people. Be very vigilant. So we will move on to the next topic at hand. And that is our random topics portion of today. So, the overview of that today is Cash App's CEO stabbed in Trump indictment trial. Oh yeah, I'm talking about Cheeto Jesus again this week. This is the third time in the past 3 weeks I've talked about Cheeto Jesus. Yes, I'm talking about Cheeto Jesus again. All right. Now let's get to this first story. Cash App founder dead by stabbing. Now, this is what's going on with this.
San Francisco police are investigating the deadly stabbing of Cash App founder Bob Lee. Well, authorities have yet to publicly name the victim. Sources identify the 43-year-old tech executive to our NBC Bay Area station. And at this hour, no arrests have been made in connection to the attack. Let's get right to NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson with the latest details. So, Steve, first of all, what do we know about how police found Lee and the injuries he had?
Well, Joe, as you might imagine, it's early. Details are limited. Police certainly aren't saying much at this point. Here's what we do know. Police do get a call at about 2:35 a.m. That is very early this morning to a man with stab wounds. They go to that part in the city. Friends and family commenting on this story say this is a good part of San Francisco where a man is found bleeding from multiple stab wounds. A 43-year-old man later identified by friends and family as Bob Lee, that tech giant found there. First responders rushed to his aid, rushed to his side. You might imagine they're trying to do all they can to stop that bleeding. He is then rushed to the hospital where he succumbs from those stab wounds. And that's all we know so far, Joe. We don't know necessarily how long he may have been bleeding out. We don't know how long or what the fatal wound may have been, or if there were other injuries or wounds to him in an attempt to take his life, just that he succumbed to those injuries at the hospital at this point, Joe.
So, Steve, do investigators have any leads about a possible motive or whether there is a suspect in this case?
As far as we know, Joe, no leads, no motive, no suspects, no person of interest, and certainly no arrest. In fact, we just heard recently from the San Francisco district attorney who tweeted saying that they will not stand for these horrific acts of violence, but they have not made any arrests, and they're asking the public for anybody with any information for any help. If police do have a person of interest, they're not saying anything about it so far. In fact, we've heard more, of course, from family, friends, people that knew Lee, including tech giants like Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey, all commenting on what a nice guy this was, what a giant and titan of this industry he left behind. In fact, in hearing from family who echo those same statements, but police still have a lot of work to do, and they're asking again for help for it. Joe?
Now,
thanks for watching our YouTube.
All right, Lester Holt. I grew up on Lester Holt. Now, that's what's going on with founder of Cash App, Bob Lee. Now let's read the article from, I forgot who this is from, but it's in the description box. Bob Lee, the former chief technology officer of Square, who helped launch Cash App, has died after an apparent stabbing attack in San Francisco. Lee's death was confirmed by Josh Goldbard, the CEO of his current employer, MobileCoin. I'm pretty sure that's a cryptocurrency app, maybe. So Lee joined MobileCoin, a cryptocurrency and digital payment startup, in 2021 as its chief product officer. Our dear friend and colleague Bob Lee passed away yesterday at the age of 43, survived by a loving family and collection of close friends and collaborators. Goldbard said in a statement to CNN Wednesday morning. Bob was a dynamo, a force of nature. Bob was the genuine article. He was made for the world that is being born right now, or he was made for the world. Or he was made. I said he was. It says he was made, but anyway. He was a child of dreams. In whatever he imagined, no matter how crazy, he made real. Goldbard continued. We will miss you, Bob. We love you. Rick Lee, Bob's father, also confirmed the news in a statement on Facebook, writing, "I just lost my best friend." The father said that his son lost his life on the street in San Francisco earlier Tuesday. Bob would give you the shirt off his back, the father wrote. He would never look down on anyone and adhered to a strict no judgment philosophy. Rick Lee added that his son will be missed by all those that knew him, and thanks those who have reached out and offered support. San Francisco Mayor London Breed also reacted to the news in a statement Wednesday, calling Lee's death a horrible tragedy. Breed said the police are still investigating Lee's death and would be sharing more details soon. According to an earlier statement from San Francisco Police Department, officers responded to the report of a stabbing earlier Tuesday morning in the Rincon area of San Francisco, where they found a 43-year-old male adult or adult male victims suffering from apparent stab wounds. Officers rendered aid and summoned medics to the scene. The victim was transported to the local hospital with life-threatening injuries, despite efforts by first responders and medical personnel. The victim succumbed to his injuries, the police statement said. Multiple local news organizations cited unnamed police sources saying Lee was the victim of the stabbing. Police indicated no arrests have been made and that the investigation remains active. San Francisco has been grappling with an apparent uptick in crime as it still attempts to bounce back from the pandemic. Well, it is a Democratic ran state in a Democratic ran city, so there will be an uptick in crime. In whatever Democratic city you live in, or far left, as some people will say, far left city you live in, there is going to be a lot of fucking crime. So if you're dealing with it now, then you know that is no worse than what it was back in 2020. Anyway, preliminary police data reports 12 homicides in San Francisco this year, an uptick of 20% compared to the same time in the previous year. In total, there were 56 homicides in San Francisco in 2022, which isn't a bad number, but it's still bad. It's still bad in a sense that citizens' lives are being lost, which is the same number of homicides the city saw in 2021. While Goldbard did not provide the circumstances of Lee's death in his statement, he wrote in a separate Twitter thread, reacting to the news that as a longtime Bay Area resident, I have more questions than answers tonight. I don't know how to fix what's wrong, but I know something isn't working in our great city. Bob left the world too soon, Goldbard wrote on Twitter. But, y'all might be saying, well, that's a tragedy. It is a tragedy. I'm not making any light of it. But there's a certain app coming out in July, which is only, 3 months from now? It's a certain app that people are starting to talk about here in the United States. So, I'm sorry, this is Bob Lee. This is what Bob Lee looked like, and he will be missed. But I've talked about this before. FedNow is coming this fucking year. July 1st, 2023 is when FedNow is going to come out. I believe the app is going to be called FedPay, and I'm going to allow you guys to learn exactly how FedNow works. Here it goes.
Today, people and businesses expect to make and receive payments at the click of a button any time of the day, every day of the year. And most expect their financial institutions to offer or support payment services that meet the speed and convenience they seek. In fact, 3 in 4 businesses and 2/3 of consumers surveyed think it's important that their bank or credit union offer faster payments. Financial institutions interested in meeting these demands can use the Federal Reserve's upcoming FedNow service to build innovative payment offerings that can help them retain and attract customers and avoid losing out to the competition. With the FedNow service launching in 2023, the time to start preparing is now. What can financial institutions do to get ready? A bank or credit union should first get a sense of the demands and trends in the market. Let's take a look at how one financial institution might do this. Meet Jill, the CEO of Community Bank. Jill keeps a close eye on Community Bank's customer retention rates. She was surprised to see new research showing that nearly 2/3 of businesses and 1/3 of consumers indicated they would factor access to faster payments into future decisions on whether to switch financial institutions. Jill and her team looked at their own customer transactions and discovered an increasing number of customers moving funds to alternative payment services, such as digital wallets and mobile payment apps. This corresponded with a noticeable decline in customers' deposits and accounts at Community Bank. They knew they had to take action. Jill and team reviewed FedNow education tools and resources to understand how the service will work and how to prepare for it. They also learned about instant payment use cases, including account-to-account transfers, bill pay, and person-to-person transactions. These resources sparked ideas for solutions they could create using their internal technology or working with third-party providers to leverage the FedNow infrastructure. Next, Jill's team started assessing the needs of their customers. They looked at available customer data, conducted surveys, and talked to customers. The team learned that their small business customers want tools to better manage cash flow. For many, this means being able to send bills and receive payments more efficiently. It also means being able to precisely time their own payments to suppliers. Also important to their customers is being able to instantly transfer funds from an account held at another institution to their account at Community Bank and vice versa, and then being able to access those funds immediately. With these insights in hand, Jill and team developed estimates of potential instant payments use across their customer base, made revenue projections, and analyzed potential growth in their deposit base. Encouraged by the results, they continue to explore ways to build on their business case and create opportunities to attract new customers with instant payment services. Jill's team took important first steps in preparing for the FedNow service. The FedNow service will be here in 2023. Will you be ready? Learn more at fednowexplorer.org.
All right. So, that is FedNow. But it's not all what you think that it is. This comes to us, this article I'm about to read to you guys comes to us from, I'm on the wrong page as well. Or am I? No, I'm not. Comes from us from CBNC. Or CNBC. I said CNBNC. I'm stupid. Anyway, long-awaited Fed digital payment system to launch in July. So the Federal Reserve's digital payment system, which it promises will help speed up the way money moves, will debut in July. FedNow, as it will be known, will create a leading edge payment system that is resilient, adaptive, and accessible, said Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin, who is the program's executive sponsor. The system will allow bill payments, money transfers, such as paychecks and disbursements from the government, such as like income tax checks, and if they ever give us a stimulus again, it'll probably go through this. Let's see. As well as a host of other customer activities to move more rapidly and at lower cost, according to the program's goals. Participants will complete a training and certification process in early April, which is happening right now, probably, according to a Fed announcement. With the launch drawing near, we urge financial institutions and their industry partners to move full steam ahead with preparations to join the FedNow service, said Ken Montgomery, the program executive and first vice president at the Boston Fed, which helped spearhead the program under former Boston Fed President Eric Rosengren. Okay, so let's stop there real fast, because it's certain words that I've seen here that are I won't say that they're disturbing, but they need to be spoken about. So I'm gonna underline Boston Fed. I'm gonna underline let's see, training and certification in early April. So within this article so far, the participants will complete a training and certification process. What kind of process of training are they doing? So is every bank or representatives from each bank going to get the information, then they're coming back to teach their folks about it, and then they're going to teach us about it come July? Because gotta remember, it's April now. We got May, June, July to coming. We have 3 months and some change. We're within the second week? What are we in, the second or third week of April? We're in the beginning. We're in early April. They're getting their training right now as we speak. Now, there's another word here that it's a couple. Well, I didn't do this. So financial institutions I didn't underline, and their industry partners. So certain banks are connected. Certain banks own certain banks or whatever. So why are they urging financial institutions such as local banks, like town or city-based banks? Like we have in my town here, I think we have like 2 local banks, and then we have, I can call the credit union that I'm a part of that I'm a member of as a local bank as well, because it's only the bank originates in a county next to us, so it's basically a local bank. So I wonder if my financial institution is going to roll this out as well in July. I need to look at some paperwork I just got in the mail. So with that being said, Boston Fed, right? So that's the Boston Federal Reserve, which the Federal Reserve, I believe, is located in Boston. But I spoke of something else last year. Something's in my damn eye. I spoke of something last year when it came to the Project Hamilton. Project Hamilton was okay. So I'll summarize what Project Hamilton was. Project Hamilton was some college students basically trying to find a way of using a crypto-based system on a larger scale when it comes to banks, Federal Reserve, and stuff like that, right? So what this entails to me is that you knock off the competition, aka Bob Lee. Then we roll out our own payment app, which will be a solution just in case Cash App goes awry. Because you got to remember, Cash App allows you to send and receive money, so legal tender, and cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. So with that being said, to me, what that entails to me is that this new Fed now, this new Fed now application that will be implemented is going to have these same types of things that we know implemented to it. Now, I had something earlier that I don't know why it's acting like this. I had this shit up here earlier. Let me just do Fed now. This is getting stupid. Okay. Fed. Let's go into this. So, this is the website. So, what is the FedNow service, right? It says FedNow is an instant payment service being developed by the United States Federal Reserve Bank. The FedNow service, or FedNow for short, is designated to offer uninterrupted 24/7, 365 processing and will feature integrated clearing functionality, enabling financial institutions to deliver end-to-end instant payment services to their customers. What are instant payments? Instant payments refer to any account-to-account funds transfer that allows for the immediate availability of funds to the beneficiary of the transaction. Excuse me. Though timing may differ from one scheme to the next, payments are often completed in a matter of seconds. For these reasons, instant payments are also commonly referred to as immediate payments or real-time payments. Some of the benefits of instant payments are there in
irrevocability,
their ability to generate rich data in their 24/7, 365 availability. Now, how does FedNow differ from FedWire? The FedWire Funds Service is a real-time gross settlement system designed to support electronic funds transfer between banks, businesses, and government agencies. FedWire is capable of instantaneously posting and settling payments. However, FedWire has limited availability and can only process payments on designated business days and during business hours. By comparison, FedNow is not subjected to nightly, weekend, or holiday restrictions. It is available all hours of the day, every day of the year. It is important to note, though, that FedNow transactions are limited to a maximum volume. FedWire does not impose a limit, though one may be set by your bank, or one may be set by your bank. Who will be eligible to participate in FedNow? According to official Fed documentation, as with current Federal Reserve services, the FedNow service will be available to depository institutions. Eligibility to hold accounts at the reserve banks under applicable federal statutes and Federal Reserve rules, policies, and procedures. Participants will be able to designate or service provider or agent to submit or receive payment institutions on their behalf. Participants will also be able to settle payments in the account of a correspondent. If they choose to do so, merchants, customers, or non-bank payment service providers can access the service through depository institutions as they do today without other payment systems. Now, what features are included in FedNow? You guys can look for yourself. Why is the Federal Reserve Bank developing FedNow? Well, 23.6% projected compound annual growth rate from 2020 to 2025, and 50 plus countries with instant payment networks. Let's see. Instant payments are one of the fastest growing forms of digital payments, with a projected compound annual growth of 23.6%. Central banks in more than 50 countries have already implemented instant payment networks that support the immediate posting and settlement of funds. Okay, so U.S. customers and corporations can also access instant payments via Zelle and the RTP network. These are both privately held systems owned and operated by Early Warning System Services LLC and the Clearinghouse, respectively. The Fed first began to explore the possibility of introducing a centrally owned and operated instant payment network in 2013 and formed the Fastest Payment Task Force in 2015 to identify opportunities to implement instant payments. In the final report published in 2017, the FPTF overwhelmingly ruled in favor of establishing a network and issued recommendations to support successful implementation. In 2018, U.S. Treasury offered the official support of an instant payment network, and in 2019, the Federal Reserve Board announced that it would begin developing the FedNow service. Ultimately, the Fed is developing FedNow in the interest of enabling financial institutions of all sizes across the U.S. to provide safe and efficient instant payment services to customers. In other words, if y'all remember, when they said that they would track if you get $600 or more into your account, that they have to look at and determine where the hell it came from. This is probably why that they're developing it. You know why? Because it has saved them time calling the IRS up asking, "Hey, why does this person have $600 or more in his account that we can't account for?" Also, I know you guys can't see me, but it's cool. I don't have much to read. Will FedNow replace the ACH network? You guys can read that for yourselves. What does a FedNow payment flow look like? So this is the flow, right? So you have, so basically, in a nutshell, like this is too busy, like this graph. So let me put it to you like this: you have yourself, you have whatever the other entity is, either if it's your cousin or let's say Amazon or somebody or whatever. So, these are the two people, right? So usually the middleman would be your bank, right? To whatever person that you're, going to. So either if it's either if it's your bank or the opposite person's bank, right? As you see on this graph. So instead of your payment going through both middle parties and then getting to another party, FedNow will now be the middle party. It would just be you to FedNow to person. So instead of it being a multi-tier type of thing to where it'll take time to get said payments to someone else, it'll just be within a flick of a button. You send, it goes to FedNow. They then look at their FedNow pay. They receipt. They hit OK to give it to themselves. It comes from your FedNow account to them. So they basically want to knock out all the other guys such as Zelle, Cash App, and whoever, and instead of them, because basically you have to give permission to Cash App to give said funds to someone else or a business or whatever, however they do it. Then they have to receive it, and then it gets sent to their bank and so on and so forth. Fed now just basically looking like a middleman, basically. Like, let's say, I don't know, let's say we're on the opposite ends of, let's say, I don't know. Okay, let's do this scenario. So let's say I wanted to give money to you, right? But the only way I could give the money to you, is if you were in your car on the outside of the bank and you was receiving your money like that. Everybody does that, right? So I'm in the bank actually giving said payment to you by way of my bank. That is the way that this is going on. So I'm in the bank giving the teller the money. The teller then turns around, puts your money in an envelope into that little silo thing, and then sends it to you via your car. That's how this is working. Now, this shit's scary as well, because the Federal Reserve, which is as federal as Federal Express, can then look at these transactions, which a report, give me a second. All right, my bad. So they can then look into all of this information that you are now giving them. So be wary, people, because this to me sounds like something's coming about. Like something's happening. Well, it says here how is FedNow being rolled out. This says as of March 15th, the Fed announced the FedNow service will start operating in July 2023. The service will roll out in stages. The initial launch will include core clearing and settlement functionality requests for pay capability and tools to support reconciliation. In preparation for its target release date, the Fed has asked more than 110 organizations, including ACI worldwide, to participate in its FedNow pilot program. As a program participant, ACI will help shape FedNow's features and functions, provide input into the overall user experience, and ensure readiness for testing, all of which will help define FedNow service and adaptation roadmap, and industry readiness approaches, and overall instant payment strategy. So you heard it here first, people. FedNow coming July of 2023, which I believe is coming out July 1st of that year, just making an estimate. And we don't know what the hell it will come to. So I don't know, man. Y'all need to do y'all's due diligence. So to finish off this, I believe I don't have that much to read. So institutions that participate in the program will have 7-day 24-hour access, as opposed to a system currently in place that closes on weekends. Program advocates say it will get money out to people much more quickly. For instance, they said government payments like those issued in the early days of the COVID pandemic would have been credited to accounts immediately rather than the days it took to reach most people. Some Fed officials say the program even could supplant the need of a central bank digital currency. That's why you guys shouldn't fucking trust it. Because they named the year in there. They said from 2020 to 2025. In 2025 should be when the central bank digital currency and or the CBDC should be rolling out. You know why? This is why. Because Brazil, Russia, India, Central America, I believe, and South America has created a new coalition called BRICS. Now, BRICS is the alternative to, I believe, if it's not the United Nations, it's NATO. I believe it's the United Nations, the UN. It could be NATO, but either it's the United Nations or NATO. They're trying to combat them because the American dollar, the US dollar, is dropping in value as fast as fast as we know it. Like, it's dropping in value, and it's not going to be the said petrodollar that we know it as today. Because when other countries use our currency to purchase other countries' oil or whatever, they have to use our currency, which props our economy up. By these BRIC nations doing that, America won't be the prominent force that it is today. It's gonna be it's gonna be some bullshit after a while. To be honest, the BRICS nations are looking at the Chinese yuan as its base currency to purchase imports such as oil. So the yuan we will be seeing in the next coming months, if not years, raising in its price. Well, not price, but its value. Anyway, so what can we really say right now? By that happening, that's the reason why this whole CBDC is getting basically, that they're preparing us for this Fed now, application that's coming out, as well as a CBDC, a central bank digital dollar or digital currency. They're getting us ready for it right now. It's starting this year. The full rollout should take up to a year and a half to 2 years. So that's 2025 as of what they stated on the website. And a lot of people are just looking at this shit as if it's like, oh well, it's no big deal. Like, we ain't got nothing to worry about. Yes, you do. You do have something to worry about. Tangible money, like physical money, will be something of the past. Now, people who they say now, you might be asking, well, Marcus, who's they? Various political talking heads and people who have podcasts who are smart and stuff like that. They say that but the CBDC is being rolled out for the simple fact that one, the US dollar is basically becoming shit, but also it's for tracking purposes. Now, if you guys ever watched Black Mirror, the episode with Bryce Dallas Howard, or is her name Bryce or Bryson? I forgot her name. It's either Bryson Dallas Howard or Bryce Dallas Howard. She played in an episode of Black Mirror, I believe it was season 2 or 3, where she lived in a society that basically was social media. Basically, it was like you got upranked or downranked depending on your encounter with everybody, and that would raise your social credit score. Now, what country has a social credit score? China has a social credit score. What else do they have? Well, I read in an article before that nearly 90% of China's economy is digital. It's only 10% of their economy that they can pull actual physical cash out for things. So, what does that mean for us? This is what that means. That we will be living in a communist society in no time. Let that sink in. Now, some people may be saying that's not true. because we have the Second Amendment. We also have this amendment. Look, I understand that. And I'll be out there on the front lines with the rest of y'all. But this is one thing that we don't have. We don't have an army, nor the utilities that an army should have, or military, I should say, such as fighter jets, tanks, shit like that. We don't have those things. So we can all die for this, and then our kids will be using this fuck shit because they would have no other option, or we can vote against this. We can vote against it, and we can just call it a day. But you guys do what you want, because that concluded that section. Now with this last section, I'm only gonna play the video and most of this article, because we are running off of time, running out of time. So this next part of this is called what we know about the indictment and surrender of Donald Trump. So if you guys haven't been watching the news this week, you would know Tuesday of this week, Trump turned himself into the Manhattan, New York DA's office, and this is what's going on with that.
Former President Trump will be arraigned tomorrow, and this is video of him arriving at Trump Tower today. He flew up to New York to be booked on multiple charges relating to a state investigation into hush money payments. Now, no courthouse in America has ever seen an arraignment like this, and we learned tonight no video cameras will be allowed. Senior political reporter Jason Whiteley has more on how it will play out and the last-minute change to the legal team.
Cynthia and Chris, tonight New York City is bracing for something this country has never seen before. A former U.S. president facing criminal charges there locally and expected to surrender early tomorrow afternoon. Trump flew back to New York City this afternoon from his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. The former president is going to spend the night there at Trump Tower before turning himself in tomorrow. The steps on Tuesday, the legal steps, will be routine, but the defendant is anything but. Trump will be fingerprinted. He'll be photographed and appear before a judge where he is expected to enter an initial plea, either guilty or not guilty. You know, this case surrounds payments to porn star Stormy Daniels to keep quiet about an alleged extramarital affair just before the 2016 election. Trump denies that affair and says he is innocent of these charges. Another new development tonight, Trump hired a new lead attorney, a white-collar New York lawyer named Todd Blanche. Adding another attorney at this stage suggests Trump recognizes the seriousness of this case. You know, politically, we have watched rival Republicans over the last few days rally around Trump. But as this legal case plays out, the question is, can Trump sustain that support? He'll be pulled in two different directions later this year, maybe early next year, fighting this criminal charge in court and running for the Republican nomination to the White House as well. Two things that have never happened before in American politics. In Dallas, I'm Jim.
Now, as he said, let me sit up. As he said, this is unprecedented. This has never happened before in American history at all. Because either when some shit did happen like that, either president got impeached or the president resigned. The only president that has ever resigned, I believe, was Nixon. Nixon was the only president, I believe, to have only resigned in this country. Rest of them either got assassinated, died from natural causes, or what else? I think that's it. Yeah. I think that's it. Or, you know, they got impeached, which they tried to do to Trump several times, and it backfired. It never happened. So, you know, let's get to the article from the New York Times. So, the New York Times states that Donald Trump, the first president to be charged with a crime, is expected to arrive in Manhattan on Monday, which he did. as he prepares to turn himself into the authorities early Tuesday, which he also did as well. He got fingerprinted and photographed. Even before Trump was indicted last week, law enforcement officials from several agencies were preparing for the possibility of protest or commotion. On his website, Truth Social, Mr. Trump himself has urged his supporters to protest and warned of death and destruction. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which brought the charges, is focused on the former president's involvement in the payment of hush money to a porn star, Stormy Daniels, who said she had an affair with him. Michael D. Cohen, Mr. Trump's fixer at the time, made the payment during the final days of the 2016 presidential campaign. The district attorney, Alvin Bragg, began scrutinizing the hush money payments last summer, and in January, impaneled a grand jury. Impaneled a grand jury. The jury voted the indictment. Mr. Trump, hold on. The jurors voted to indict Mr. Trump last week, which was last Wednesday, I believe. While the facts are dramatic, and the indictment explosive. This makes no fucking sense how they wrote this. The facts are dramatic and the indictment explosive. The case against Mr. Trump could hinge on a untested legal theory. A conviction is far from assured. Here's what we know about and don't know about the criminal case against Trump. Now, if you guys didn't know, Trump was already he was already tried. How can I put this sentence? Because I'm fucking up right now and I'm running out of time. Trump has already been indicted on these charges already by way of the federal government. They I believe they threw it out because they didn't see anything, right? So this Alvin Bragg guy then I guess looks into this stuff. He found some inconsistencies somewhere when it comes to hush money. It was some payment, like on his payment log, I guess how he pays his employees and stuff like that. There was some inconsistencies there that he circled and was like, this is where we got him at, right? So then I told you guys last week that Michael Cohen, his lawyer at the time, paid Stormy Daniels $130,000 and a Playboy Playmate $130,000 to Stormy, $150,000 to a Playboy Playmate, by the name of something McDougal. I can't remember her name. And Michael Cohen paid those women $180,000, which is the total of those two charges. $280,000 to both of these women, and then Trump. Well, the story is that Trump paid him afterwards, but he only paid him somewhere around like $30,000, some shit like that. But that was in like legal fees or some bullshit. But you guys need to know this is that that Trump is facing 24 charges, 34 to be exact, that hold a 136-year penalty in prison. So, also with that being said, the charges are expected to stem from a payment that was made to Miss Daniels, who in October 2016, during the final weeks of the presidential campaign, was trying to sell her story of an affair with Mr. Trump, but that was all the way back in between 2006 2008. So, like, what merit does that? What merit does that fall under? Like, he's running for presidential election. Let's say it happened 2006. So 10 years later, when he goes to run for president, this shit comes back and bites him in his ass again. But she was down to get paid. So she got paid the hush money and she shut the fuck up until Bragg reared his ugly head and was like, nah, fuck this. He needs to be indicted. Is it because he wants to run for president again? Is this the reason why that they're going after him? Who knows? Who knows what this is for? But I will say this. He's already been tried for this. I'm pretty sure the what's the legal term? What's the word? The time of the shit. What the fuck is that goddamn what is that word? Anyway, the time of everything has been passed. Like, he can't be tried on this even if they can. In which Alvin Bragg gave a statement, I believe it was Wednesday, and reporters asked him, what's going to go on with this case, and is there any other charges that he has? Alvin Bragg then states, yes, there are, what does he say, one or two other charges linked to this that he will not speak about at this point. What's the two other charges? What do you have him on? You tried a former president, you felt that damn bold. Why not feel bolder and be like, hey, yo, like, this is the reason why I'm doing this. These are the charges we got him under. And it's like, will we go, oh shit, well, damn, did he do that? Blah, 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 blah. Like, that's it. Like, that's all. It's like, and I'm not caping for Trump at all, but I will say this. I know y'all loved y'all's paychecks and how money was moving in 2019. I know y'all loved that shit. I know y'all loved it for the simple fact is that I didn't hear anybody complain about having money or not having money in 2019. I told you guys I think it was the first week I covered this shit. Hey, at my job, we get profit shares. And I got two that year. One right around this time, if not in like May of, was it 2019? Then we got another one around Christmas. It's like, goddamn, like we must have been, like business must have been booming that year. And then the pandemic hits, some fuck shit happens, and it's like we get one a year or so. If we get one. So, let's see. So what happens next is Mr. Trump is expecting to arrive in New York on Monday, which we already know that. And whatever. So let's go forward. So what did Mr. Trump potentially do wrong? So when pleading guilty in federal court, Mr. Cohen pointed the finger at his boss. It was Mr. Trump, he said, who directed him to pay off Miss Daniels, a contention that prosecutors later corroborated. The prosecutors also raised questions about Mr. Trump's monthly reimbursement checks to Mr. Cohen. They said in court papers that Mr. Trump's company falsely accounted for the monthly payments as legal expenses, and that company records cited a retainer agreement with Mr. Cohen. Although Mr. Cohen was a lawyer and became Mr. Trump's attorney after he took office, there was no such retainer agreement, and the reimbursement was unrelated to any legal services Mr. Cohen performed. In New York, falsifying business records can amount to a crime. which is a misdemeanor, basically. So him doing that is basically a misdemeanor. How they got him on federal charges, let's read on. To elevate the crime to a felony charge, Mr. Bragg's prosecutors must show that Mr. Trump's intent to defraud included an intent to conceal a second crime. So what's the second crime, Bragg? What'd he do? Make this a federal charge. What'd he do? Also, in this case, the second crime could be a violation of election law. While hush money is not inherently illegal, the prosecutors could argue that the $130,000 payout effectively became an improper donation to Mr. Trump's campaign under the theory that it benefited his candidacy because it silenced Mrs. Daniels. But we're not going to talk about Biden getting the FBI to silence the Hunter Biden story. Oh, how about how how Biden's either his niece or his sister or somebody got a payment from the CCP for doing what, we may add. Also, let's look at some other stuff as well. Like, he's not the only person doing this. It's the simple fact that he wasn't in the in crowd. But I'm gonna put it to you like Judge Joe Brown said it. Motherfuckers buy. Well, I'm gonna say what he said, but I'm gonna say it the way that I usually say it. Motherfuckers buy hookers all the fucking time. Paying them is something that they do as well. So, if Trump is guilty of doing said things, then what about most of these motherfuckers like what's his name? I forgot his first name, but the owner of the owner of the Patriots. Didn't he get in trouble for having masseuses or hookers after the Super Bowl one year? Did he get in trouble? But nothing happened, right? That got swept under the rug as well. We all forget, right? What about these illicit parties these motherfuckers be going to? Like, I'm pretty sure there'll be prostitutes there as well. They just ain't having parties to talk about law. Nah, they're trying to, cut loose. I'm pretty sure there's hookers at those parties that they be going to. Also, this is becoming a long stream. Also, let's look at this. Now, some conservative DAs are starting to look into some. Some conservative DAs are looking into some of the other side's business dealings and wrongdoings, such as the Biden crime family. Also, they're also going to be probably looking into Hillary Clinton and her whole email situation that happened right during the election, as well as this bullshit happened with Trump. That's also probably going to be looked at. Or, as Tim Pool likes to bring up, let's look at how Barack Obama killed an American citizen, which was a teenager at the time. I believe the boy was only, 14, 15 when this happened? When he ordered a drone strike in a country we wasn't even at war with. Is that going to be looked at? I hope so. Because let's just not let Trump go to jail for some bullshit that he was already tried on. Also, let's add that Trump's Secret Service is getting subpoenaed into federal court soon. Also, let's look at Trump also being indicted in Georgia for some reason. What, for the recount that he asked for? Like, I'm pretty sure there's no law against a presidential candidate asking for a recount for an election that he was in. I'm pretty sure that's not illegal. But, I digress. But let's get back to this whole Obama thing. He killed a teenager by a drone strike in a country, I believe it was Yemen. I think it was Yemen. Which was a country we wasn't even fucking at war with, number one. Number two, it's only because the teenager was the son of a radical Muslim. But the son of that radical Muslim is a American, born via Colorado. This shit is wild, yeah. This shit is wild. Look, to any black people who's watching me right now who vote Democrat all the time, don't get mad at me for what I'm saying. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at your country. Get mad at them. Because it's easy to read this information. I told you earlier, this is the fucking internet. You can read this shit anywhere. You have a device that can show you all of this shit if you don't have a home computer. Now, if you are then cussing me out at this point, saying, well, he must be a Republican, I'm not, but I would say that I'm center right. So although I believe some of the stuff that you believe on your side, I also believe what the other side believes as well. So don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you. I know I used to always say I'm a free thinker. I'm still a free thinker. I know it was shit before that, like I'm not a conservative, not a Republican, not a leftist, not a rightist, blah blah blah. Look, I had to make a certain I had to have a certain talk with myself and basically tell myself, why are you sitting here lying to these people? And I can't lie to y'all no more. I am a center right person. I'm sorry. I'm center right. So, with that being said, people, that has been today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Because just like certain news stories that I follow closely, I will be following this one very closely because Trump isn't due back in court until January of next year. So whatever they talk about this, I might cover it during the banter portion. Also, whatever that they come up with when it comes time, I'll also cover it here on this show. Also, if you guys don't know, my anniversary, I think passed. I believe it's either on Monday or it passed of me doing this show here. I've been doing this show for approximately 3 years now. So yeah. Congratulations to me. I'll give myself a round of applause and the DJ. But with that being said, people, let's give ourselves a brief summary. Well, the Restrict Act looks like a bunch of bullshit, and looks like it's coming soon. And for the loss of the CEO of Cash App, I'm very remorseful of what happened, and I hope the family of Bob Lee finds answers to who killed their son or brother or cousin or whatever, or grandson if his grandparents are still alive. Hope they find answers to that tragedy, because it is tragic. You don't want to have your loved ones go out in a way of which was violent that he went out. He went out very violent. But we also got to look at the big picture here. It gets announced March 2023 that Fed now is being rolled out. then we hear that the Fed now will be rolled out July of 2023, of which the CEO of a popular cash receiving and sending app died. If that doesn't send red flags up on you, then I don't know what to tell you. And also, Trump being indicted for whatever crimes that they think that he did, well, we can only speculate at this point until we get there. Everybody, this world's going mad. That's the only thing I gotta say. Well, let's get into these promotions so I can get y'all out of here. So where do I start off at? Now, every Friday I do a game stream called Marcus Speaks Play. Marcus Speaks Play comes on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, we don't have a game that we're playing right now. I'm just playing random games until April 19th or so comes, I believe. And then after that will be Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is a week later. I will be playing before Jedi Survivor comes out. We'll be playing the DLC to Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores, and then that week after I will be playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor. After that, then there will be a whole series of Jedi Survivor until the next game comes out, which I believe will be just Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. But until that happens, please subscribe to this here YouTube channel, Marcus Speaks. Link is in the description box below. But after you do that, go back to this description box to the next link underneath of that, which is my Rumble channel over at rumble.com. Go and hit that link and subscribe to me, because once I get 25 subscribers, I get the streaming code, and then I can start simulcasting to both here and Rumble. So please do me a favor, in the description box, hit both of those links so I can do that for you guys. If you ever want to come up here and talk to me, just hit the link so you can come up here and chat with me. Or you can use the channel's call-in number, which is 302-283-9791. All right, the number is 302-238-9791. All right. With those rules, if you ever come up here and come talk to me, because there are 3 rules. The three rules are, if you hit the link, is you must turn your camera on so I can see who I'm speaking with at all times. Also, if you don't want to be on camera, that is fine. There will always be a question here in the private chat. Answer the question. Let me know if you do or if you do not want to be on camera to the public. I'll accommodate you from there. And with both the link and your phone call, please do me a favor. Silence all background noise, because it helps all of us hear exactly what you have to say. All right? Also, I'm trying to run at least a semi-professional podcast over here. At least do me that. I'll let you up here. Like, come on, man. But also, if you could, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell icon also you can get all of my notifications once I go live. And I only have one last thing to say to you guys, and that is, please focus on getting that money. You know, money makes the world go round. You know, money makes people happy. So make sure you focus on getting that mugger, that mullah, that wop, that chicken, that whatever you call it these days. Also, drink more water for health purposes. You know, it helps with weight loss, helps you with hydration. If you don't drink water, then drink coconut water. That's like nature's Gatorade right there. So it has vitamins and minerals and potassium and all kinds of stuff. So make sure you drink more water. Also, mind your own goddamn business for mental health purposes. There's a lot of crazy motherfuckers today. Not just because of social media, it's just because motherfuckers is going the fuck crazy. So make sure you protect your mental health by minding your own goddamn business, alright? Also, do yourself a favor and shit like this, stuff that I'm bringing up to you guys, you ain't gotta believe a goddamn thing I'm saying. All you gotta do is do your own research. I've been Marcus. This has been Marcus Speaks Live. I thank y'all for being here, and I thank y'all for watching. I'll check you guys out next week. Peace out.